Hey, let me ask you something. Do you run the counter play but have a little problem sometimes when the defense does a little tweak to stop it? Well, today I'm going to show you a new way to run counter, and you're going to freaking love it. Let's get into it. Look, the counterplay has now taken over for my love of inside zone. It's nasty, and I want to dive into it, and I want to show you a little tweak you can use in your counterplay to dominate the defense when they try to take away. So let's go to the screen, shall we? Let's do the PowerPoint, the unstoppable counterplay. Is this play unstoppable? I think it is, yes, and I'm going to show why I think that. So first off, why should you run the counter? Everyone's like, hey, Ron, you love inside zone. It's amazing. You got to run power. You got to run buck. I don't think so. I think you got to run the counter, and this is why. First, defenses have to account for more gaps. You are pulling at least one or two different pullers, actually two, and they have to account for that, which is something that a lot of defenses aren't used to seeing because they're used to seeing outside zone and inside zone. It's got nasty elements of misdirection. I'm going to show this in one of the clips. You can use a wide receiver motion. You can use H-back motion. You can use a lot of different motion to get the eyes of the defense going somewhere and then hit them with the counter coming the other way. It's an easier read for the running back. For how we teach it, it's either bang or bounce. Whereas the inside zone, you have to kind of read it a little bit. It takes a lot of time for the running back to get it and to trust it, and for the running back and the offensive line to mesh. With counter, it's not. It's like, hey, here it is. If it's not there, pop outside, and it plays into running back's natural tendency of wanting to bounce things outside. Another one is it's simple rules for the offensive line, down gap backer. I hate on the wing T that much, but I'm telling you, that is a very good thing to have for your line, especially if they're inexperienced and they don't know how to run any of the zones and they're passing off the combos wrong and everything like that. Gap down backer is freaking unbelievable, and it works. And you can brag, this is the biggest one, you can brag about being physical to your wing T coaches that like to talk a lot of crap about how spread teams are very soft. Listen, when you run counter, you're not soft. You're downhill, smack them in the mouth, and the next time a wing T or single wing T talks to you like that, you look them in the eye and you tell them to shut their mouth, because you run counter, you're a power type of guy, and you are going to freaking love it. So, all right, those are the reasons why. And if you like those reasons, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know that it works, okay? Why is your counter not working, though? And it's for the wrong arm. When defensive ends are scraping down and they're wrong arming it and making it bellow, causing a pile up right there, that sucks. And that is what happens when you run counter a lot, especially against good teams that are very good taught at the defensive end position, where their technique, wrong arming it. And that is where this play comes in, the counter sweep. Now, shout out to my man Dan Casey. And if you stay around for a minute, I'm going to show you something that you can get of Dan's. It's unbelievable. I stole this from one of his talks he gave us during the Score at Will Summit. And he talked about the counter sweep tag to the counter play. And what does that do? Well, if you look at the bottom left right here, let me move my ugly face out of the way up here. Right here is when the defensive end comes down and they wrong arm and it causes a big old pileup. That can really ruin the counter play. And it sucks because that is a difficult block for your offensive lineman, especially your guard. So what do? Well, you try to change it. And the way you do that is you tag it with the sweep motion, okay? So Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is what you're going to run. I am actually going to show you some plays that you can run. And I'm going to show you us in action. This is us in action. Okay? So this right here is what happens. Let me fill it. When we're running our normal counter out of our H-back. All right? We're running our counter. This is our H-back counter. So he is coming here to kick out. He is wrapping around. What's going to happen is this end right here squeezes in wrong arms and causes a big pileup. And that's a problem because we want to hit it right here. And this man, instead of teaching him, hey, read that, if he comes down like Dan was talking about in the Score at Will Summit, you go around, it's hard to teach your offensive lineman that to read it on the run. And there was a big pileup, and the defense did a good job stopping it. So what do? When you start seeing that, then you go to the sweep. And what is the sweep? Well, we're teaching him, hey, normally you pull and kick, But now you are going to pull and look to log the first person that you see. And then the guy that wraps around, you're looking instead of going all the way outside. We want to turn it into a sweep. Does it work like that most of the time? No, but that is the general idea. And this is what's happening. He's looking to log. He's looking to get the next thing out there. And we missed that guy, but look, we're hitting it now outside. We're hitting it in that gap, and that is what we want. I'm going to go back to the film in a minute, but we want to start hitting this thing B, C, D gap because they're pinching down so much, taking away what it is. This is probably a better view. So here we go, another one. We are coming to the left this time, right here. So we're blocking down this way. He is looking to log. He is looking to lead up as a sweep. And this is what happened. He logs this man right here. He's pinning the first backer. He is pulling around to lead the way. So this is here. He's got him. He should be reading this man right here, but he saw that they scrape exchanged on the backside. So he handed, and now we've got an outside run. That is good because they're trying to take away the counter. This is the counter to them taking away counter. So you've got to have constraints. And it does. This looks like buck sweep. And it is a great thing to have. Now here's another one right here. We're in our blue. So that's 2 back to the left. We're motioning him across. We want to get their eyes moving right now. And then we're coming with the counter sweep to the outside. And look how it hits on the outside. He's looking to log this man. He is looking to get to the outside. Does it work that way? No. So he sees that his man is kicking out, so he's coming up. But look where it hits. It hits all the way outside. Why? Because this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to take away the inside, so we have to do something else. And we're a spread team, so this is our counter. Notice how this motion right here sucks in 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And we've got the stuff. It is freaking unbelievable. And I've got one more for you. Here's another one. This guy was a very good defensive player. Really good. He pinched a lot. So he was trying to wrong arm it. So we're going to run the counter sweep to the outside. He's got his choice of there to there. And we do it really well. Notice how the guard is looking to log. He logs. He comes in, but we're hitting it to the outside. That is the very important part to this entire thing. And that was just a great play by the running back. But the reason why you want to run the sweep and why you want to tag it is because you're taking the thinking away from the guard. You're not having him read it on the run. That is something I took away from Dan Casey's stuff. And speaking of that, if you want access to the Score at Will Summit, here it is. I put this on. This is an amazing summit, guys. I'm not going to lie. You got Hal Mummy's on here, Nick Caduti, Sean Leota, Jason Mons, Josh Herring, AJ Smith, John Weaver, Jason Phillips, Dan Gonzalez, Joe Ozafet, JT, Joe, June Jones was on here, Dan Casey, Kenny Simpson, and Jeff Steinberg. All of them were there. They were giving away an hour and a half of all of their stuff. If you want access to this, there's a link in the description. Click it, you get access. It is freaking unbelievable, and you need to put this in. You really do. This play right here is what you need if you run a lot of counter and the defense is wrong arming. You're making the call. You are making the defense, you're making the guard not think about it. He knows what to do now, and you're going to be successful. All right? So I hope that was helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I'm going to take some questions right now. And let's see, Brad, thank you. Holy crap, I finally get to see you live. Yes, sir. Can I pick your brain sometime? I'm about to take over a varsity program as a head coach. Could use some advice. Brad, just send me an email, man. I would love to. That's what we do in the TD lab as well. We have a group of coaches that meet up bi-monthly. We talk about strategy, offense, defense, special teams, everything like that. If you want, just shoot me an email and we will talk about it. Nick, I hate hearing spread teams are weak. Love using power counter, separates boys from men. I agree. Spread gets a bad rap. I don't know why, but you know what? We're changing that. We're changing that, Nick. That's what I love. Dan turns into buck sweep. You're absolutely right. Is ever watching a coach? Brad, I don't know what you mean, but yes, I'm always watching. Maurice, yes, Dan is the man. Do y'all suggest the air raid with an undersized O-line? Brad, I'm going to be honest. I think the air raid is unbelievable. Any offense with an undersized O-line is going to struggle. What would you I talked about this on Joe Daniels' podcast. What would you rather struggle with? Throwing the ball where you have a chance and you know the numbers and you spread out and you can kind of manipulate the box a little bit easier because you know they have at least 6 and it kind of helps you as a coach? Or do you want to cram everybody in there, have all 12 on 12, and hopefully everyone makes their blocks? That's my philosophy. We run pin and pull instead, but what is our answer to back? What is that? BDSD. Dan, I don't know what that is. Let me know. I like pin and pull, but sometimes it's kind of difficult. I really like counter. That's my baby. That is my baby. Maurice, yeah, I like this, but I would rep the hell out of it where they can recognize. You say that, it's very difficult. I mean, it is. You're asking that guy to make that, just call it. And that's something, take it out of the kids' hands so that they don't have to think. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, man. There are sometimes these kids, I call a play they have wristbands. It says go to the right, they're going to the left because they have to think. I'm trying to take all the thinking out of it and earn my pay. All right, this is a nice switch up as well since the H is the wrapper. It is, and that's something you can do. That actually helps because you can move the H back in a little bit more to help get out to the edge to seal, That's a good thought, Dan. Robin, how many different ways you doing the running back footwork? We do it 2 ways. A jab and then come back, and then if it's the sweep, we like to kind of be even and run like a sweep straight down the line. Right there. And the thing is, you can do it with the quarterback if you ever run a quarterback. Have the running back go across and have the quarterback come back around like that and get him on the edge. That's something. Block down, step down. Oh, okay, so you do that with pin and pull. That's fine. Yeah, I'm showing my air raid roots. Scott, I'm sorry. That's that's what it is. But all right, now here's the thing. We're not talking just the counter, guys, because I don't know if you've been paying attention or not. But Joe freaking Moorhead is incredible. And I wanted to touch on something. That he did against UCLA that he went back to during Ohio State. So if you remember, against Ohio State, all right, Joe Moorhead is still amazing because he went to Ohio State and he ran this. Do you remember this play, the unbalanced formation, where he would have a split? If you didn't, let me show you real quick. I'm going to show you the play. All right, just so we're all on the same page here. So we have the unbalanced formation, which Joe Moorhead did, right? He's running inside zone to the left. He's shooting this guy into the flat, making them miss. And look, he took 1, 2, 3, 4 people out for a nice touchdown. This is what he did against Ohio State, all right? This was, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And here's the thing. He pulled out this same formation and added a little wrinkle to it against UCLA. And this is what he did with that. And it's just, I got so excited when I did it. So he has the same formation, but he uses push motion. And then he runs quarterback counter. I'm tying it all in the counter, baby. He did the counter with the quarterback, and they had a nasty play. And, of course, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. All right? So, look. Same formation, overload. 1, 2, 3, 4, pushing him out here. What does it do to the back? Look at the backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them are this way. 6. 6 eyes. This is in college now. Division I. Their eyes were on the running back motion, which opened up the quarterback run. He went into his bag of tricks. He took it out. And 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, with his running quarterback, he knew UCLA was going to do this, and he went in there and got a decisive touchdown. That is what put them up, and that is why Joe Moorhead is a freaking genius. And if anybody can get him on to the showcast, please just let him know that I have this up here. Joe Moorhead is still amazing. Because that is a way you can use counter. You can put a little wrinkle to it. You can use a formation. You're still using the same blocking schemes, and you're being successful. It's unbelievable, guys. You need to do it. Have I told you that enough? All right, let's see. Tyrese, do you mimic concepts that teams had against your opponents? I don't, but I like to see. I do with formations. Did a formation give them any problems? If they did, then maybe we should look into those formations to see if they need to go in. Plays, no, because at the end of the day, you've got maybe 3 days to install something. So I want my core group of plays to be in. I don't want to put something else in because that is putting a lot on your players right there. Great question, though. Speaking of questions, a couple of weeks ago, I asked y'all for some questions because on my Instagram, if you're not following me on Instagram, boom, let's see if this works. I don't think it does, so I'm not even going to push that. We are going to talk about some questions. I'm answering your questions. So the very first question is coming from Germany. Let me move my ugly face out of the way. Best tips for German football team that practices 2 times a week for 2 hours and runs the air raid offense. First off, you pick the best. I'm being serious. The best offense to run in that limited time. I have actually worked with some coaches in the touchdown lab that has actually done it, that runs this kind of offense for this low amount of time, and they've been successful. I actually have a guy in Australia that won his championship doing this, and they only practice 1 time a week for 2 hours running the one formation offense. Unbelievable. This is what you do. You get at least 2 runs, 2 quick games, 2 dropbacks, and a screen. That's it. Rep the piss out of them over and over and over again. And you have to block out everything that you see online, all the cool plays, all the trick plays, all of that stuff. You have to get great at a core group of plays. Now, what is that core group? I have no idea. I can help you if you're inside the TD lab, but you need to come up with those core group of plays, maybe 2 or 3 formations, and rep them over and over and over again. Your players should know what your practice structure is going to be every single day. They should know what plays you're going to call. They should know where they are on the field when you call them. They should know it better than you know the offense yourself. That is the only way you're going to be successful running this offense in this time period, 2 times a week for 2 hours running the air raid offense. You need to get into it, all right? I hope that helped. Let's go to the next, and that's a great picture by me, isn't it? Right there. All right, next one. How do you get better in the red zone as an air raid offense? This is going to surprise some people. You may have to, especially at the high school level, go gimmicky. Like if you're in the 5 and in, get a heavy package. Maybe try the single wing a little bit. Remember, Hal Mummy in the Spring League actually had a single wing package before they folded. Not the Spring League, the XFL. They had a heavy package, a one-back power, Wildcat type package. And if it's good enough for Hal Mummy, the Godfather, it's good enough for you. So what can you do? Do you have that package? Also, are you actually practicing in the red zone throughout the week? See, that's what I cover in the Plan of the Perfect Practice workshop. You have to dedicate time, at least a day, where you work in red zone over and over again so that you're calling only the plays that you would call in a game right down there. And you better believe your players will know that. Be like, hey, it's 5 and in. We're either going the heavy package or we're running these 3 or 4 plays that we practice all the time down here. And that is how you do it. All right, so that is the only way. You have to practice it or you have to get gimmicky. And sometimes, especially at the high school level, the longer I'm in this, you just got to swallow your pride and actually get a gimmick. Go heavy. Maybe go Wildcat. Go the single wing. Do a spinner series. This is where you can get kind of creative. This is where you go, okay, these 5 plays from this totally separate offense that we run, this is what we're going to do. Get in the T. I know Sean Lyota, who was in the Score at Will Summit, he talked about he was in the slot T. That was his little short yardage package. He talked to some coaches in Texas. He somehow finagled that and got in with the slot T, and that was his thing. What is your thing? You need to do it, all right? That's how you get good. Question number 3, how do you get kids to buy in when you are the new staff? This is difficult. I'm going to be honest. First off, you can't come in there bashing the old regime. All right. We see it all on social media. Coaches come in, they bash the regime, which is like a backhanded slap to the kids that were there now. You don't talk about those coaches. It's a brand new leaf. And you have to let them know that you actually care. Like you give a shit. And that's that you can't come in. You've got to know them personally. Kids can smell a phony a mile away. They have this uncanny ability. Somehow we lose it after we get out of high school or college, but they can smell a phony. They can smell a rat and they can smell blood in the water. And if you're not your ideal self, who you are, whoever that is, like me personally, if I become a head coach, I am not a Nick Saban type at all. So if I go in there and try to be a Mr. Hardass, Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, those kids will smell that phoniness a mile away. But if I go in there being me, I give them my vision. I am open and transparent with them. I tell them the vision that I see with this program, and I believe it. And then my belief will spill onto them. They will buy in. But that is where you have to get this. All right. A lot of coaches, especially new coaches that I talk to, they come in and they just be like, hey, I'm Bill Belichick. It's either my way or the highway. And I don't know if y'all noticed this, guys. A lot of people that are from the Bill Belichick tree, they're not that successful in the NFL after that. That's a big sticking point because there's only one Belichick. There's only one you, and there's only one you running a program that you envision. So you just have to be passionate about the program, explain to them where you want to go, how you're going to get there, the offense, the defense, the special teams, how the weight room is a big part of that, how culture ties into that, how you're going to get the parents involved. It is a big deal. You're essentially a politician for football, but you love football. So that is something that you should get excited about. Share your excitement with your kids. I promise you they will buy into it. All right? So I hope that helped. Hey, guys, seriously, if you want the Score at Will Summit, click the link below. It's freaking unbelievable. I still, to this day, don't understand how I got all those great coaches to come in here and talk about their favorite schemes to help you score at will. I hope this was good. And until next time, let's continue to master the spread, score points, and have fun. I will see you later.